hello again. We're back with another question off the internet, and if you too would like to send us a question to read, you can send us to it at totl@abyssheadphones.com. Maybe we'll answer in a future episode.
First one.
Hi.
Wanted to know if you could do a breakdown on customizing your headphone lineup. I was curious of what things can be done and perhaps what people have done in the past. Thanks.
Okay.
EA.
That's not a bad question. This is one that we never actually directly addressed, and I suppose it does deserve its own individual video. So, the customizations we've done, I guess we'll start with the more recent ones because they seem to be more relevant. Diana, you could get it painted in any color you want for a nominal upcharge. And unfortunately, with our current process in paint, it isn't like a 5-minute thing just to change a color. It isn't quite how it works. It's actually a bit of an ordeal.
It's not so easy.
It takes hours to get the ratio of hardener right, to get the gloss right, and ensure uniformity on our parts.
Every color has its own process to make the finish look even on the various parts. If you don't create the process for the small slider versus the large size, you get differences in the color variation between the parts.
Yep.
So it takes our painter man, Keith, back there practically all day to get a finished set of parts for a Diana that all match with a new color.
We typically paint 2 sets at the same time to get one set that matches very closely,
Right.
because we do use different alloys, and as a result, in painting, there are some discrepancies. So starting with a new color, it actually is a pretty involved process.
Yeah.
It takes several hours, so unfortunately, it's not like a 5-minute deal and $20.
I found it wraps him up all day by the time it's said.
Pretty much,
He doesn't
yeah.
get
It's like-
anything
it's like a
else
whole
done.
day
He's
to do one color.
intently into it
Yeah.
when he's doing it, and he does a fantastic job, but it's all day.
Yeah, well, the paints all have different viscosities. Then
Yeah.
they spray different.
Yeah,
Yep,
some are
different
worse than
cure
others.
temperatures.
Yeah,
too.
different
Yeah,
temps.
lucking out is not normal.
Yeah.
Usually, he's going to go through a number of trial and errors. until he gets it
Sometimes
right.
they go pretty easy,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
other times.
Sometimes it takes 3 or 4 resprays,
Yeah.
and that's 2 sets that you're spraying 3 or 4 times, which it's all day, and there's sometimes scrap parts.
So we
it's slow
usually
and
tell
expensive.
people it's expensive. You're looking
Yeah.
at, usually, it's at least $1,000 and up, depending on what kind of customizations you want.
Right.
So
It would be nice to get that down a little bit, but unfortunately, that's the reality.
not
It's
with
very
this-
expensive
yeah,
to do.
Yeah.
But you can get them painted in almost any color. We could do exotic things as well. It's just very time consuming to do. So right now we're rather busy, but we hope at some point to alleviate that, and we'd be very willing and happy to do custom
Yeah,
colors.
right now we're not accepting customs. We just don't have the production time. We can't break away people from the standard production to do one color. Not
Yeah, basically you're replacing what could have been a
Yeah.
dozen parts with one.
now. Yeah, right.
So it's
Well, yeah.
tough right now.
But at some point we'll bring it back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I guess on the Diana topic, the other thing that we did was custom laser engravings on the baffle. So
Yeah, that's
someone
easy.
Name that.
Yeah.
That's easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Could get that done pretty quick. So
But even then, there's
yeah, right. You just can't screw it up. Yeah, it's like you get one shot at that.
yeah, right. And
Yeah.
even then, sometimes we go through production, you make the part and you forget about it,
Well,
putting a
yeah.
name on there. So yeah,
That's pretty easy, though.
Yeah.
We
That's
could do
our
that.
end.
Yeah, that's no
we could
problem.
do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lasering things is pretty basic.
We've had a handful of people that wanted like their name or something engraved on the baffle alongside the serial or the model number or something like that. And that is no problem. We're totally willing to do that.
You just got to consider the used market. Most people don't want
Right.
Yeah.
a baffle that says George on it if their name ain't George.
Well,
so.
the one pair he named his headphone the
Oh.
Perps.
Oh yeah, Perps.
So it wasn't his name. He
Yeah.
just that's what he
Well,
named
that's
the
cool.
headphone.
That's-
so
yeah.
Was it purple?
it was purple.
Yeah, it was a custom color.
Yeah.
One other change on Diana is somewhat recently, I would say the past like 50 or so we shipped, so it just happened fairly recently. We changed the angle on the frame along with a few other minor tweaks. There's a very subtle difference. So any new models going forward, if they're purchased new from any of our dealers or us, it's very unlikely any of our dealers would have stock at this point that are the old version. They're basically like a half DMS mod. So a lot of people may be aware of the DMS mod ear pads.
Well, the easy way to explain it is it's built into the latest versions.
Basically, yeah.
We didn't modify the ear pad, but rather
It's the
we
frame assembly
yeah
itself.
we changed a slight bit of different angle on the curve on the angle on the frame.
Yep.
So basically, if you heard about the DMS mod before, you don't need to worry about it anymore. It's baked into the new the latest gen of
Right.
of the headphone.
Yeah, it's not really necessary anymore.
Well, I guess from the cable side, it's not really a customization, but options are available for the stock length of 1.5 meters. Then we offer 2, 2.5, and 3 meters. We all stock, and you can get 1/4 inch, 1/8 inch, 4-pin, Pentacon, 2.5 millimeter. So you got a lot of options on the cable side too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Both on the 1266 and Diana.
Yes.
Yeah, the 1266 you can't get with a 2.5 millimeter.
Well, no,
That's-
we do have one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Well,
from
you
a
can
show.
get an adapter.
We did use it once.
You can get an. Yeah, no one's going to make
Nobody
that.
ever
We're
bought
not
one.
making that. You can't cram
But
that much
there's
wire in
one.
there. But you can get an adapter
Yes.
to go from 4-pin to 2.5 millimeter, which is the way to go, really.
Might as well move on to 1266. So with 1266, just like Diana, you could get it in custom colors, although there's a lot more components on 1266. So this is even more complex to do. And we do a kind of two-tone look on the stock 1266. Some of the components are a different color or shade of black than the remainder. So technically, if you wanted to, you could continue that. You could have all the different components, different colors. If you want to do a rainbow or 2 different tones of a similar shade.
Oh,
or
let's not
something
go
like
there.
that.
That sounds like difficult.
Time consuming and as a result somewhat expensive to do. So we did have several people that asked for custom colors. We did a few custom ones in the past. But oddly enough, not that many people ask about it. I guess everybody seems to be happy enough with the stock black.
Black
They
is
don't want
pretty
some
popular.
exotic thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we have done custom headband material too in the past,
Yes.
and we still could do that. So some people, have gone with ostrich skin, snake skin. It's very rare, and
Yes.
but it's possible. But yeah, these things all tick boxes with dollar signs next to them. So keep in mind, you're talking adding thousands of dollars onto the cost of it, but you will have a unique headphone. That's
Yep.
for sure. We won't do it again, though. Anyway, somebody does it. I mean, okay, I won't say we won't do one color over again, but when you start getting fancy,
Yeah, it's pretty unlikely.
no one's
Yeah.
going to pick the same thing twice. That's
But
unlikely.
Unfortunately, making one of something tends to have a lot of inefficiencies, so it's kind of costly.
That's the problem.
yeah,
Yeah, you
it's
go-
not that practical to do one,
Yeah,
but you could do it. We're totally willing to do.
it's possible. But again,
Most
right
customizations.
now, that's all on hold because we're just too busy with making standard product. So
Yes, working on a resolution for that though. So
yeah,
hopefully.
yeah, it's called machines, people.
Yes. And on the 1266, you could also get a custom marking on the baffle. So like the driver's side, you want your name on there or something like that. You want a little penguin on there. I'm fine with that. Just let us know.
Yeah,
You got to order it direct. Contact us. Let us know what you want, and we could totally make that happen.
understood. That's it. Other than that,
Pretty much, yeah.
yeah, we're just sticking to making product.
Well, I think that'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that encompasses the majority of the options and configurations you could do for 1266 and Dyna that are not standard or not listed on the website.
And if someone has an idea that want to throw
Yep.
by us if we can do it or not, by all means, ask us. But of course, you need to be serious about this. We don't go looking into this stuff just for fun. So if someone wants something, they really need to want it, because we got to look at the various ways that we could do it. It's not just like, oh, we can't do that or we can't do that. Usually, it's not so simple. It can be, but if you're really serious about it, we'll look into it.
Oh, absolutely.
But it's going to take time.
Let us know.
Someone asked us something about a finish. In fact,
Yeah, they wanted the rainbow PVD.
Oh,
Which
right. It's like
I
a
want to
chrome
do.
look to the finish.
No,
Yeah.
it's like multi-color changing.
Yeah, but it's shiny. It's like a
Right.
chemical dip, right? For some sort of
no,
chemical
it's
dip.
a physical vapor deposition. So there's like a
Oh.
metal that's deposited on
Right.
the surface and a vacuum sputter chamber thing.
Yeah, we looked into
It's
it.
complicated to do on a
It's
multi-part.
it's
thing.
difficult to get it right, to finish even throughout,
Right.
especially on a.
Multiple parts.
Well, it's because of
yeah.
our assembly. It's not
Yeah.
designed to be PVD coated, so it causes challenges.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, most of the parts you see as a consumer are designed around how they're going to be manufactured and treated and finished. And that's the case with us as well. So we design our parts around how we're going to make them, how we're going to finish them. So if you change the finishing step, it can pose a lot of challenges
Right.
because there's like all these different parts that engage in different ways. And so different coatings cause different tolerances, different issues with assembly. And you have aesthetic issues where you need to have parts that are multiple stacks or whatever that align to one another. And if they have different coatings on them, there can be inconsistencies and they could look not particularly stellar when they stack together.
Yeah, it sounds easy on paper. Oh, just put a different finish on it. But the reality of it is, there's multiple steps usually involved to accommodate that different finish. Like in that case, I think you had to get the aluminum, the parts needed to be electropolished first to get a base polish, and then you'd send them out for PVD coat. If you have a dull finish to begin with, the PVD won't pop as much because it's very thin. So things like that. It's not just one finish. It's a lot of things require multiple steps, and then even then, like you said, the headphones got to go together and operate properly. So everything's got to be reconsidered when you do that.
Yes,
it has to assemble properly. You can't remove 3 thou off of a surface and expect it to act the same way. So that's the problem we run into.
A lot of challenges like that.
Yeah, with custom, with crazy finishes like that. So, but
we
we did
want to do it.
Yeah,
I'd like to see it.
We did want to do it. Is right. Yeah, but it's like too many steps
Not
involved.
today.
Yeah, not today. Yeah, we just tell, because when you start, the problem is when you start handing our parts out. These parts are expensive.
Yeah.
You start handing them out to various vendors to get the one thing done first, and have them send it to another vendor. Yeah. At some point, somebody's going to drop, scratch, do something to the part, which means you need to send out 3-4 sets. Hope you get one set back that wasn't damaged somehow by someone. It's really difficult.
Well, especially when you're talking like mirror finishes.
Yeah, right. Which is just crazy.
You just touch them and scratch them.
Yeah. So, and it's aluminum, so it's not exactly like hardened steel. So it wouldn't be difficult to.
It's scratch a mirrored surface.
Right, right. It's kind of like the finish on a car. What would it take?
It's almost always crazy expensive to do one of something.
Yeah.
A lot of times you could do it manually, but with a PVD coating finish, you just can't. And doing one is complicated.
You pretty much got to go through it as a trial run and hope it all comes out. And that's the problem with it. It's just crazy labor intensive following the parts through the various vendors and making sure nobody's screwing them up along the way. And then when it gets back to you, you're cringing, going, okay, you're opening the box, going, please.
I hope they came out. Yeah.
So yeah, it's not as easy. That's why we brought all this stuff in house. That's why we finish what we do our own in house.
We used to not, and then it was like that. Opening the box,
constant.
Hopefully these came out right.
Yeah, I mean you're basically QCing every part, and then it's so we do as much as we can in house.
A lot of scrap parts when you're looking for perfection.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we are.
Yep.
So anyway, everyone, thank you for watching this one, and remember, if you have any questions or comments, TOTL@abyssheadphones.com. If you have any ideas for future videos, it'd be great to let us know, because we could always use the ideas. Thank you. Take care.